Hello! This video will help you customize the menus in WordPress. What we are going to work with are the individual menu items. That is, for example, here you have Home, Course Catalog, Shop, About, LP Plugin Nerd. We are not going to change the style of the menu as a whole. We are going to change the style of a single menu item. Of course, as long as you wish to change the style of the menu as a whole, this also can be done. And I will show you how to do that as well. First, we begin by styling single menu elements. To do that, go to the dashboard, Appearance, Menus. Click on Menus and wait until the menus load. Now, this is the main menu and this is the one we're going to customize, so this is fine. As long as it was another menu that we needed to customize, we would have chosen it from here. Now, as you can see, a regular menu item doesn't give you any option to customize by default. However, you do have such an option built in WordPress. Now, see what we're going to do. Up in the corner, you have this tab called Screen Options. Click on it. Here you can see the advanced menu properties. There are 5 in all in this case. They can vary depending on your theme and the options that it gives you. From these options, we're going to check CSS classes. CSS is the coding language that we're going to use to style the element. Now, look down here. A new field appeared called CSS classes. If we want to style the home menu item, what we're going to do is create a CSS class. Let's keep it simple, so we're going to call it home menu item. I'm calling it home menu item and not just home because there is a slight possibility that something else in the theme already has the class home. So keeping it simple is nice, but just make sure that the class you're using is unique as well. I'm going to copy this class. And I'm also going to save the menu. The next step requires that we add the necessary CSS in the customizer. It is found here under Appearance, Customize. Alternatively, you can choose to install a CSS plugin, allowing you to get a better overview of all your styles. Down here you can find CSS. Usually you won't find that many options here under the Customize option. This is simply dependent on the theme that you have. The custom CSS option is, however, standard, so you can find in all WordPress themes. Now I'm going to go to the last line here. And start adding the code. Classes are added with a dot in front. I'm just going to write the dot and then paste the class to be sure that I don't make a mistake. Now I'm going to use the curly bracket that is used to encapsulate code. Now I'm going to write example. This is simply an example of what you can do. Let's say that the menu item should be surrounded by a border. This allows you to make it look like a button, even though it is still a simple menu item. The important part of the equation is used in case that the style is hard-coded. In order to override it, you need to use important. It's not always necessary to use it, however, sometimes it might be. Look up here. Now you have a border. You can, however, do much more than just create a border. You can style that border. For example, you can say border radius. If you say around 30 pixels, you're going to get a nice round shape. Let's see how it looks. The biggest downside of using the customize option is that it takes a lot of time. Now you can see that the edges are rounded because you have used the border radius. And then we could work with line height. Sometimes you don't need to guess what makes the code behave as it does, why things look as they do. When you use the border element, it actually encircles the element inside based on font size, line height, and padding. So now see, when we use a line height of 10 pixels, we are beginning to get something that makes more sense visually. As you can see, you can manipulate the look of a menu item a lot, using just a single element, in this case a border. However, you could do a lot more. Let's try this. Let's make this menu item look even more like a button. What do? We could add a background color. Let's, for example, say that the color should be gray. Click on Publish. Now there you go. You have a gray background. And this is for experts. As long as you want to make the menu item look even more like a button, you can use a shadow. Here I have used a white shadow. However, you can use whatever color you like. Let's make the shadow a bit smaller because this is way too much. And now let's see how our new button looks. You can change practically everything about a menu item. You can indeed also change the style of the text. You need only to find the selector that controls the style. If you want to style the individual menu item even further, you can choose to do that using this selector that is called Home Menu Item. This is the class, and A, which is the element. You use the curly bracket, and then you start choosing. Let's say font size. Just as an example, let's say font size 30 pixels. Let's also change the color just to make a point. Color red. So now you have a pretty visible button. Now we have changed the single menu item beyond recognition. Remember to use the important statement because such elements as menus tend to be hard-coded. Now look at this. Now we have the bigger font in red with a gray background with a round border and a shadow. Of course, here we haven't achieved the best visual impression, but this wasn't the goal anyway. The goal was to show how one can style an individual menu item. But now let's try to do something else. We're going to remove the styling, and we're going to focus on styling the whole menu. You can again choose to style a single thing, like for example to change the font size or the font color or the font itself, the font family. You can also choose to change the menu beyond recognition as we did before, with a border, with background, with shadows, with everything. Now let's see. Here we have the menu. This selector can help us customize the style of the menu items. For example, let's say we change the font size to 24 or 25 or 29. There we go. You have enormous menu items. Then let's say that the color of the menu items should be green. There we go, they're green. Now let's say that the menu items should be underlined. This is done by using border bottom. You can indeed use border not just to encircle the whole thing, but also to draw a line, in this case in the bottom, to achieve the underline effect. You should choose how thick the border should be. 1 pixel is standard, you could also use 5 pixels, whatever. It's your design. The color, let's say gray. And you should choose the style. You can see you have different styles. Solid is the one that is most often used. You can also, for example, use double. Now we have double lines. See, this is how you can customize the menus, both as single items and as a whole. Because here I have used that option that I mentioned before, made available through Google Chrome developers, and also available in other browsers. The changes that I have made aren't saved now. This here is used as a sandbox, a place to discover the different selectors and try out the different styles. If you like the result that you have achieved, you should copy the style that you created here and paste it into the custom CSS field or in the custom CSS plugin. Once you have pasted here, remember to click on publish, and then we close this field here, and then I update the window to make sure that every change went through. There you go. The menu looks as we made it. This was all I wanted to tell you about the different customization options in connection to menus in WordPress. Thank you for watching and see you next time.